Seniors, never eat these 3 foods with blueberries. They could hurt your brain. Have you ever wondered if the foods you're combining on your plate could actually be working against your brain health, especially when it comes to protecting yourself from cognitive decline and Alzheimer's disease? What if I told you that there are 3 specific foods that, when eaten together with blueberries, could potentially counteract all those amazing brain-boosting benefits you've been hearing about? Today, we're going to dive deep into something that most people over 50 never think about: the dangerous food combinations that could be silently sabotaging your memory and cognitive function. By the end of this video, you'll discover exactly which 3 foods you should never pair with blueberries, understand the surprising science behind why these combinations can harm your brain, and learn the simple adjustments that could make all the difference in protecting your mental sharpness for years to come. But here's the thing: what I'm about to share might completely change how you think about your daily meals. So make sure you stick around until the very end, because the final tip I'll give you could be the game changer you've been looking for. When we talk about brain health and protecting ourselves from cognitive decline, blueberries often come up as one of nature's most powerful superfoods, and for good reason. These tiny purple gems are packed with antioxidants, particularly anthocyanins, which have been shown in numerous studies to support memory function and potentially reduce the risk of Alzheimer's disease. But here's something that might surprise you. Did you know that certain food combinations can actually interfere with your body's ability to absorb and utilize these crucial brain-protecting compounds? It's true, and this is something that many people in their golden years simply aren't aware of. Think about your typical breakfast or snack routine. How often do you grab a handful of blueberries and pair them with whatever else happens to be convenient? Maybe you're adding them to your morning cereal, mixing them into a yogurt parfait, or enjoying them alongside your usual breakfast foods. What you might not realize is that some of these seemingly innocent combinations could be preventing your brain from getting the full protective benefits that blueberries have to offer. The first food that you should never eat with blueberries is dairy products, particularly milk, cheese, and cream-based items. Now, I know this might come as a shock because we've all seen those beautiful photos of blueberries floating in milk or mixed into creamy yogurt parfaits. But here's what's actually happening in your body when you combine these foods. The calcium and proteins in dairy products can bind to the anthocyanins in blueberries, forming complexes that are much harder for your digestive system to break down and absorb. Have you ever noticed that sometimes after eating certain food combinations, you don't feel as energized or mentally sharp as you expected? This could be one of the reasons why. When those powerful antioxidants in blueberries get bound up with dairy proteins, they essentially become unavailable to your brain cells. It's like having a key that won't fit in the lock. The potential is there, but the mechanism just isn't working properly. Research has shown that when antioxidants are consumed with high calcium foods, the bioavailability can be reduced by as much as 30 to 40%. For someone who's specifically trying to protect their brain health and ward off cognitive decline, this reduction in effectiveness could be significant over time. Think about it. If you're making the effort to include brain-healthy foods in your diet, wouldn't you want to make sure you're getting the maximum benefit from them? But it's not just about absorption. The interaction between dairy and blueberries can also affect inflammation levels in your body. While blueberries are naturally anti-inflammatory, dairy products can trigger inflammatory responses in some people, especially those who have developed lactose intolerance or dairy sensitivities as they've gotten older. This creates a kind of tug-of-war in your system, where the anti-inflammatory benefits of the blueberries are being countered by the inflammatory effects of the dairy. Are you someone who has noticed increased brain fog or memory issues after certain meals? This food combination conflict could be playing a role. When your body is dealing with inflammation, it affects blood flow to the brain, nutrient delivery to brain cells, and can even interfere with the formation of new neural connections. 4. Those of us concerned about maintaining sharp minds as we age. This is definitely something worth paying attention to. The second food that creates problems when combined with blueberries is iron-rich foods, particularly red meat, organ meats, and even some iron-fortified cereals. Now, this one is particularly tricky because iron is an essential mineral that many people over 50 need to pay attention to, especially women who may have become deficient after years of menstruation, and men who might have absorption issues as they age. Here's where the science gets really interesting. Iron, particularly the heme iron found in meat products, can act as a catalyst for oxidative stress when it interacts with the antioxidants in blueberries. Instead of the antioxidants protecting your cells from damage, they can actually become part of a process that creates more free radicals. It's almost like having your body's defense system turn against itself. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to age more gracefully than others, maintaining their mental sharpness well into their 70s and 80s? While genetics certainly plays a role, lifestyle factors like nutrition and specifically how we combine our foods can make a tremendous difference. When iron and antioxidants interact in the wrong way, it can accelerate cellular aging, particularly in brain cells that are already vulnerable to oxidative damage. The timing of when you eat these foods matters too. If you're having a steak dinner and decide to have blueberries for dessert, or if you're eating iron-fortified cereal with blueberries mixed in, you're creating conditions in your digestive system where these interactions are most likely to occur. The concentrated presence of both compounds in your stomach and small intestine at the same time maximizes the potential for these unwanted chemical reactions. But here's something that might surprise you even more. This interaction doesn't just affect the blueberries, it can also interfere with iron absorption itself. So not only are you potentially missing out on the brain protective benefits of the blueberries, but you might also not be getting the full benefit of the iron you're consuming. For people who are already dealing with iron deficiency or absorption issues, this double whammy can be particularly problematic. Are you starting to see why paying attention to food combinations is so important? Especially as we get older and our bodies become less efficient at processing nutrients. The interactions happening in our digestive systems are incredibly complex, and small changes in how we structure our meals can have significant impacts on our overall health and cognitive function. The third food combination that can interfere with blueberries' brain protective effects is high-fiber foods consumed at the same time, particularly certain grains, beans, and high-fiber vegetables. Now, before you start thinking that fiber is bad for you, let me be clear. Fiber is absolutely essential for good health, especially as we age. The issue isn't with fiber itself, but with the timing and specific combinations. When you eat blueberries, together with very high-fiber foods, the fiber can actually bind to some of the beneficial compounds in the blueberries and sweep them through your digestive system before they have a chance to be properly absorbed. Think of it like trying to catch water with a net. Some of it goes through, but a lot of it gets carried away before you can capture it. This is particularly true for soluble fiber, which forms a gel-like substance in your digestive tract. While this type of fiber is great for heart health and blood sugar regulation, it can also trap other nutrients and compounds, including those precious anthocyanins from blueberries. The result is that you might be getting less brain protective benefit than you think you are. Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right with your diet, eating all the foods you've heard are good for brain health, but still not feeling as sharp as you'd like? Food combinations could be part of the puzzle. When nutrients can't be properly absorbed and utilized by your body, it's almost like they were never consumed in the first place. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The type of fiber matters significantly. Insoluble fiber, like what you find in wheat bran or the skins of certain vegetables, can be particularly problematic when combined with blueberries because it moves through the digestive system quickly and can carry other compounds along with it. This rapid transit time doesn't give the delicate antioxidant compounds in blueberries enough time to be broken down and absorbed. Are you someone who prides themselves on eating a high-fiber breakfast, maybe with whole grain cereal, added bran, and fresh blueberries on top? While the intention is admirable, you might actually be limiting the brain protective benefits you're trying to achieve. The timing of when you eat these foods can make all the difference in how well your body can utilize them. Understanding these interactions becomes even more crucial when we consider that our digestive systems naturally become less efficient as we age. The production of digestive enzymes decreases, stomach acid levels can drop, and the overall transit time through our intestines may slow down. All of these age-related changes mean that food combinations that might not have been problematic when we were younger can become more significant issues as we reach our 50s, 60s, and beyond. Do you find yourself more sensitive to certain foods now than you were when you were younger? This isn't unusual, and it's one of the reasons why paying attention to how we combine our foods becomes increasingly important over time. What worked for us in our 30s and 40s might not be the best strategy for optimal health and cognitive function in our later years. Now, you might be wondering what you should do with this information. Does this mean you have to give up dairy, iron-rich foods, or fiber? Absolutely not. The key is in the timing and the way you structure your meals and snacks. By making simple adjustments to when and how you eat these foods, you can maximize the brain protective benefits of blueberries while still getting all the other nutrients your body needs. One strategy is to eat blueberries on an empty stomach, perhaps as a mid-morning or mid-afternoon snack, at least an hour away from meals that contain dairy, iron-rich foods, or high amounts of fiber. This gives the antioxidants in blueberries the best chance to be absorbed without interference from other compounds. Another approach is to pair blueberries with foods that actually enhance their absorption. Foods rich in vitamin C, like citrus, fruits or strawberries, can help increase the bioavailability of the antioxidants in blueberries. Healthy fats, like those found in nuts or avocados, can also help with the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins and some antioxidant compounds. Have you ever thought about how the sequence of foods you eat during a meal might affect your health? Most people focus on what they eat, but the order and timing can be just as important. For example, starting a meal with blueberries and then waiting 20-30 minutes before eating other foods can help ensure better absorption of the beneficial compounds. The science of food combining isn't just about avoiding negative interactions. It's also about creating positive synergies. When you understand how different nutrients work together, you can structure your eating patterns to support your brain health more effectively. This becomes particularly important when we're talking about preventing or slowing cognitive decline and reducing the risk of conditions like Alzheimer's disease. Speaking of Alzheimer's prevention, did you know that the timing of when you eat antioxidant-rich foods like blueberries might even affect your sleep patterns and brain detoxification processes? Your brain does most of its cleaning and repair work while you sleep, and having optimal levels of antioxidants available during this time could support these crucial processes. Are you getting quality sleep? And do you think your evening eating patterns might be affecting your rest? The foods you eat in the hours before bedtime can significantly impact your sleep quality, and poor sleep is one of the risk factors for cognitive decline. By timing your blueberry consumption earlier in the day and avoiding problematic food combinations in the evening, you might actually be supporting better sleep and brain health simultaneously. Let's talk about portion sizes and frequency too. Many people think that more is always better when it comes to healthy foods, but this isn't necessarily true. Eating large quantities of blueberries along with the problematic food combinations we've discussed can actually amplify the negative interactions. Sometimes, smaller amounts consumed at optimal times can be more beneficial than larger amounts consumed with interfering foods. How often are you eating blueberries, and are you varying your intake throughout the week? Consistency is important for brain health, but so is giving your digestive system time to process and utilize the nutrients effectively. Some research suggests that having blueberries every other day, rather than daily, might actually lead to better long-term cognitive benefits. The preparation method of blueberries can also affect how they interact with other foods. Fresh blueberries have different properties than frozen ones, which are different from dried blueberries or blueberry juice. Each form has its own absorption characteristics and potential for food interactions. Fresh blueberries tend to have the most intact antioxidant compounds, but they're also more susceptible to interference from other foods. Are you someone who prefers convenience and often reaches for dried fruits or fruit juices? While these can be part of a healthy diet, understanding their limitations and how they interact with other foods is important for maximizing their benefits. Dried blueberries, for example, are more concentrated, but also more likely to be consumed with other foods that might interfere with absorption. The temperature of foods can also play a role in these interactions. Hot foods can change the chemical structure of antioxidants, and consuming very hot or very cold foods together can affect digestive processes. If you're adding blueberries to hot cereals or mixing them into hot beverages, you might be altering their beneficial properties. Have you noticed that your digestive system seems more sensitive to temperature extremes as you've gotten older? This is another one of those age-related changes that can affect how well we absorb nutrients from our food. Being mindful of food temperatures and combinations becomes more important over time. Individual variations in digestive health, genetics, and metabolism mean that some people might be more affected by these food combinations than others. If you have digestive issues, food sensitivities, or are taking medications that affect nutrient absorption, these interactions could be even more significant for you. Do you take any medications or supplements that might affect your digestion or nutrient absorption? Many common medications taken by people over 50, including proton pump inhibitors for acid reflux, can change the digestive environment and make these food interactions more problematic. It's worth discussing these factors with your healthcare provider. The good news is that once you understand these principles, making adjustments to optimize your brain health through better food combining is relatively straightforward. It doesn't require dramatic changes to your diet or giving up foods you enjoy. It's more about being strategic with timing and combinations. Are you ready to start experimenting with these concepts in your own meal planning? Begin by keeping a simple food diary for a week, noting when you eat blueberries and what other foods you consume with them. Then, gradually start separating these combinations and see if you notice any differences in how you feel, your energy levels, or your mental clarity. Remember, these changes don't happen overnight. The brain protective benefits of improved food combining build up over time, just like the damage from poor combinations can accumulate gradually. Consistency and patience are key to seeing results. What other aspects of your current eating patterns might be affecting your brain health without you realizing it? Once you start paying attention to food combinations, you might notice other patterns that could be optimized for better cognitive function and overall health. If you've made it this far in the video, congratulations. You're clearly serious about taking control of your brain health and making informed decisions about your nutrition. This kind of commitment to learning and self-improvement is exactly what it takes to age well and maintain cognitive sharpness throughout your golden years. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Tell me which of these food combinations surprised you the most, and share what changes you're planning to make to optimize your blueberry consumption for better brain health. If this information has been helpful, please hit that like button to let me know. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss our latest research-based health tips. For those of you who stayed until the very end, there's another video appearing on your screen right now that dives deep into the 5 best foods to pair with blueberries for maximum brain protection. Click on it now to continue your journey toward optimal cognitive health.